Hello and welcome to QEDNG. I am Olumide Inyoda. My guest today is the Chief Executive Officer of the Musical Copyright Society of Nigeria, MCSN. MCSN is an organization licensed to collect and distribute performing, mechanical, and neighboring rights, royalties on behalf of its members. My guest is Mr. Mayo Ayilaran, the CEO of MCSN. Oga, welcome to QEDNG.
Thank you. Good
Finally,
to be here.
finally.
Yes.
The reason I'm saying finally is that I've known you like forever.
Yes.
And this is the first time we are having this conversation here. So you are welcome.
Good to be here.
Mm.
Yes, it's a great prayer, and I feel honored to be here.
Okay, quickly.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so quickly, I'm going to start by congratulating you.
Thank you.
Because your license was renewed recently by the NCC, that's the Nigerian Copyright Commission.
Yes.
That's your operating license.
Yes.
What is the significance of the renewal of that license?
Yes, it underscores the fact that we are doing the right thing, and we are progressing, we are increasing, and we are, doing what the law expects us to do. Otherwise, we won't get that renewal. So it's a mark of thumbs up for us from the regulatory authorities.
So how long is the license for?
The license is normally renewable every 2 years. So we'll be looking beyond 2026 now, from January 1st. Yes.
But can you collect royalties on behalf of people without that license?
Well, depending on the number.
Okay.
Because the law is very clear.
Okay.
If you are doing collective administration, then you must get a license. So if you do not have that license, you cannot. Otherwise, you'll be acting against the law. And it is a criminal act for which one may be liable for imprisonment, apart from fines and so on. So you must have that license. But if it is just you as a person doing that to collect on your work, and that number of work is below 50, well, you can escape being licensed. But how efficient will you be? That is the question. We are talking of being efficient, being effective. For example, as a person administering just a few works, as a single individual, how far can you go? How many places can you reach within a space of time? So you'll just be busy walking around the streets, and many people will not even take you serious. You'll be acting under serious intimidation. So if you meet somebody who is not given to respecting the work of arts, who is not given to respecting creativity, they will say, okay, tell me, what works are you even talking about? The moment you identify your work, if he has them in his diary, you can pick up the copies and say, take your works, I'm not playing your works again. So it's difficult for that single person. But with collectives that has millions of works in its repertoire, you cannot but deal with that. So, and for you to be able to do that, you must have the license of the Copyright Commission.
Talking numbers now, I think I checked your website this morning, and these are some of the numbers I saw. Yes. That you have 58,054 members.
Yeah.
2.74 million sound recordings and musical works in your database. That you paid 1,000,000,082 naira to right holders in 2024, and 3,567 issued license in 2024.
Yes.
That is what I saw this morning.
Yes.
Now, what is the significance of these numbers?
These numbers is showing how big we are within the territory of Nigeria, how representative we are. So when we talk of that number, to have a whole number of 50-something thousand in your membership, that means you are representing virtually who is who within the territory. That is those who are really creating the works that people use, the music you listen to, and so on and so forth, the sound recording. Maybe if it is in film, it is in videos, it is in sound, and so on, that you can get whatever you want within the repertoire of MCSN. Then, when you talk of the figure, the Naira figure, that is the monetary figure, it also shows that the business is actually a good one. Musicians, creators can look forward to an organization like us for their future, to meet their immediate needs when they do not even expect that they have money somewhere. They just see the alert on their phone. In the past, it is the postman that will come and drop a letter in your doorstep, and by the time you open your envelope, you see a check there, which we're not expecting. So we meet people at the point of their need when they least expected. So that is the significance of that money. And when you compare this with our counterparts in other climes, they will know that yes, they have an organization in Nigeria that is doing well to represent and to protect their works. Because we are mandated to protect foreign works just like we protect Nigerian works. So we are not just talking about Nigerian works alone. We are talking also about any kind of work from any clime, any countries of the world. So that is the depth of all these figures that you wrote out just now.
Okay, so you are saying now that, for instance, if I'm a foreign artist,
yes,
and my music is being played in Nigeria,
exactly,
you will collect my
royalty.
royalty.
Yes, we are empowered by law to do that for you. So you do not need to run this risk of being accused of you are not a you are not a Nigerian. What authority do you have to territory to come and be asking for money? Or the question of, oh, you do not have work permit, for instance, so you cannot do this job in Nigeria. The law versus us that we have to protect your rights. Just like your own country too will protect Nigerian works in their own territory.
A lot of people, when they hear musical copyright, what comes to their mind immediately will probably be musicians. That is the performers. Are those the only ones? I mean, tell me the people, the spectrum of people whose rights you protect.
Okay.
Because what immediately comes to a lot of people's mind will be the musicians,
yes,
the
yes,
performers.
Yes. First, the primary people that we represent at inception are the composers, the authors, and the publishers. They are the core owners of copyright. Because without
Say that
works,
again.
they are the core owners.
Which people?
The composer, the author, and the publisher.
Okay.
So the composer and the author writes the lyrics of the works. The composer composes the music, the sound patterns, while the publisher helps them to sort of market it, making the work available for exploitation. So it is when that work exists, that music, when it exists, maybe in paper form or in sound form, it is then performers can gather together and perform it. You know, not even only in the old days. Even now, you have music sheets, whereby if you understand music, if you haven't heard the music before, but if you see it written in the music language, you place it in your front and you start to play your piano. You play the music correctly. At that point, you are a performer. So you are the first line of user of the works owned by composer, author, and publisher. A composer may not know how to sing. A lyricist may not know how to sing or play any instrument. But by being able to do that, to compose and so on, the people who are adepts in playing, in performing, in singing, those who have those sonorous, melodious voices will be able to perform your work. So they are the first line of exploiters of these works. They are the second layer of people that we protect. It is when the performers are performing the original works that the producer and the record labels will say, hey, this music can sell. They bring in their machine, they record and make tapes, make records out of it before. So that is the chain. But our core mandate first was the composer, the authors, and the publisher. Then now come the performers and the producers, vis-a-vis the record labels. So we represent those 5 classes of creators, but at their different levels, because we will not collect the money that is due for a performer and give it to the composer. Neither will we take the money that belongs to the composer and give it to the performer, except the composer is also the performer, because we have that mainly. I mean, the most of Nigerian performers are composers of their works, or most of our composers and authors, they are the performers of their works. So that means they earn in 3 or 4 different ways. So that's our representation.
Okay, thank you very much for that clarification. Yes. Because you see, most times when people also see the members that people see, the ones that we easily recognize are usually the performers.
Yes. The person on the stage.
Okay, King Sonny Ade, who is the president of MCSN, you see him as a performer.
Yes.
Oris Uliki, who is the chairman, you see him as a performer. Although he also composes and do other things. So I need for you to clarify that. Now let us talk history a little bit. It's been tough. It's been a journey getting to where you are right now. To have some kind of stability, if I may use that word.
Yes.
Tell me, what has the journey been like for MCSN?
It has been tough, but looking at it in retrospect, we can see a lot of blessing in it. To me, I see it as a learning process. Because if we had gone in and everything just happened, bam, 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 and we become so big, we may not be able to manage. The ropes, we may not be able to learn it. So that the gains that we thought we have made will just wither away. But from the angle that we have passed through, though very challenging, very difficult, even the lives of the organization was at risk, was nearly extinguished. But we were able to come out of it victorious. And now looking back, we see that it was good that we went through all those things, because it is serving a good purpose now. We are using those experiences to maneuver any difficult situation. So we cannot see any challenges coming that can be bigger than what we have passed through. And through that, we have been able to create a lot of precedents that the up and coming ones are benefiting from today. At least from those struggles, Nigerian musicians are becoming billionaires, which before many people see musicians as beggars. They see them as alulugbo meko. Of course, you can of recent happening with K1 when he used the word Ganusi. So people came and called him Alagbe. That's how they saw creativity in the past. But through our challenges and so on, the consciousness now dawned on the creators that, so we are really blessed with gold mines from the talents God has given to us. And they are now exploiting it. Our musicians are filling concert venues, not only in Nigeria, but anywhere in the world. So these are some of the gains from the challenges, from the fights we went through. They themselves may not know it. That is these big ones, people like Davido, Ashake, and all of them, they may not know the history of where they are. They just thought that, because we are signed on to EMI. Was EMI not here in the 70s, in the 60s? Somebody like King Sonny Ade had to fight his way to become big as he is. Everybody, even the war is still going on at the Supreme Court now. So due to the kind of challenges that MCSN went through and carried most of these musicians along with it, so they were able to tap with it. So nobody can really exploit my work, my performances, and just go away with it. Whether I recorded for him or not, you must pay the due for the music. So these are some of the things. When I look back, those challenges, of course, yes, we went to prison, we were detained in prison, and so on and so forth, but we came out of it. And now we are very proud to have gone through all those things. And it is for the growth of the industry. It is also for the growth of the country. So that's the way we see it.
Okay, there are some people who have taken some consulting companies to court.
Yes.
individually.
Yes.
Some to say, let me give you an example without naming the name of the companies now. Some people have taken some telecom companies to court
Yes.
for using their work
Yes.
without permission.
Yes.
Couldn't they have enlisted, are those people not members of MCSN? Why do they have to do that by themselves?
Well, there are two ways to look at this. One, we do not know who may be advising those people without deriding the legal profession. There are some lawyers who can say, oh, they are trigger happy. Oh, this is an opportunity for me to make some money from here. They will not advise the artist very well. They just hit the court in the name of the artist. The artist too may not know that being a member of MCSN or its counterparts anywhere in the world, having assigned your right to those organizations, there is nothing with you. So it depends on the knowledge of those handling those cases to raise this kind of salient issues in order to determine whether their cases will succeed or not in court. So it depends on what you place before the judge. That's what the judge will rule about. But we too will not shark in our own business. We will not say because a musician has sued, what's the name?
Don't mention it.
Has sued a particular telco. And we found the telco infringing our own copyright. We will not go after that telco. We'll go after that telco, even if that musician is part of us, and even his work is the one we are suing upon. We will all go to court and clear ourselves there at the end of the day. Because it is the evidence that we present before the court that the court will look at before giving judgment. So, as far as we are concerned, as far as I'm concerned, it is expanding the knowledge, the understanding of the subject matter.
Okay.
That is the most important thing to us.
Okay. You know, one of your foremost member, prominent member, died last year, Onyeka Nwenu.
Yes.
And in an interview, she said that she didn't make any money from her one love song. I don't know if you ever had that interview, that she said she didn't make any money. How is that possible?
Well, it depends on the time, within the range of the time she was talking about. And it depends on her affiliation. That is what I can say about it. But if for those period of time that she was referring to, she was a member of MCSN, there is no way she wouldn't have made something, no matter how little, because we were struggling, we were knocking on doors, we were fighting people to bring out the money to pay for what they have consumed. So that doesn't mean that all hope is lost. Of course, her estate will still stand to benefit at the right time. But we should underscore the fact that there are times when she was affiliated to other organizations, and MCSN cannot take responsibility for that. But for the period she was with us, and she was with us till her death, we thank God for that. So anytime we roll out the armories, the battle axes, her work will be protected and will get her due for her by the special grace of God.
The Onyeka interview that I spoke about is an old interview.
Okay.
And I also know that Onyeka was not a member of MCSN at a point. Why did she join you? She was somewhere else before. Why did she choose to come to MCSN?
Yes, the fact that she has comparison. She was able to compare and contrast. And she felt that, I believe, she felt that yes, we can offer better services. We can be more accountable to her. Maybe that's the reason she has to switch and join us. So,
and she was following you people to court at a point.
That was at the beginning. You know, the Yoruba people, we have this adage that a woman, until a woman tastes 2 or more husbands, she won't know the value of one. So it's good for anybody to have the taste of the different organizations or different formula available before you can. So when she has seen and virtually the steady progress we are making, in spite of the serious difficulties that we are facing, the challenges that we are now, we were surmounting, then she knows that this must be a very reliable and serious organization. So I wouldn't necessarily want to praise our organization, but they say the taste of the pudding is in the eating.
What I mean by that question is that when you were going to court, she was one of the people she was one of the people who also went to court with you.
Yes.
That's what I mean.
Yes.
Who was one of the people that went, because I don't remember who was saying it then. That I think it was Charlie Boy or something like that. I can't remember.
Yes.
Was it Charlie Boy or somebody last year that was playing back one of the court appearances and said that Onyeka was almost like a man.
In front of, yes, by the side of MCSN. Yes. She was there standing by us. And at a point too, she's, when she was even on the other side, she told me personally that, look, Mayo, I've followed and I've seen what you are doing. Please keep at it. Don't get tired. Don't get discouraged. I will soon join you people. So soon after she came back to MCSN. So Onyeka is somebody who follows his her beliefs. So once she doesn't play politics with her emotions. No. She says it as she sees it, and she acts the way she sees it. So I give it to her any day. She's very reliable. When she says yes, she means yes. When she says no, it's no. So she's that type of a woman. And that's why I can always refer to him that she's a woman. I mean, yes, she's a woman, but having a man's mind. A man's mind, yes.
You paid the condolence, you led the MCSN condolence you led a team from MCSN on a condolence visit to her family after she died.
Yes, I was part of the team.
Okay.
Of course, the team was led by King Sonny.
Okay, yes, okay.
Yes.
Okay. So KSC led that
team.
That team. What was why was it necessary for you people to do that?
It was necessary because Onyeka was not just another musician. She was a unique musician. She was a leader. She was a defender of the rights of the musician. So she was the one who will keep you on the toes to do the right thing. Not necessarily to undermine you or anything, but to encourage you. So such a person will not be just somebody you can ignore when such a thing happens. In fact, if we had the opportunity, yes, we would have played a bigger role than mere paying condolence visits. She was at a point in time the director in MCSN. So she's very qualified to have received that honor from us.
Okay. Now, let's talk about the newer generation of musicians. What are you doing to attract them into the MCSN fold? Because you mentioned Davido earlier, you mentioned Ashake. Yeah. Now, those ones, they are
big.
They are very big.
Yes.
Now, are you reaching out to them, or you are reaching to certain composers, authors at a different level?
Yes.
What are you doing to get new members?
Number one is we keep doing what we believe is the best for them. When they see and they hear the reports of what an organization in Nigeria is doing for the interest and the betterment of the lives of the average or the upcoming musician, they will certainly join. Then the big ones too, when they look around and comparing us with those who have been with us, who are with us and who were equally big, either in their time or becoming big and they are with us, and they start to compare notes. And they can see that when they leave the stage, when the applause goes down, they will still want to remain relevant. And this is the only organization that can keep their relevance intact. They will still join. So we are making sure that our action, our results will continue to speak with us. Of course, we are having programs to reach out to them. For example, the new the Gen Z ones, we know that they are computer guys. They want to be on online and so on. That's why our website is very active. Go there with a click of the buttons, you have loads and loads of information coming your way. We continue to, pass on relevant information on a daily basis. And as time goes on, we'll be organizing periodical seminars or engagements. But the challenge we have is their availability. For example, if you go out, you rent a big hall in Sheraton or something, you invite all of them. At the end of the day, you hardly see the relevant people. So those are some of the challenges because they keep pursuing the next stage. The next stage, that's their own pursuit. And the up and coming ones too, they are also running to also become big. They want to blow. So hardly do they have time for all this intellectual thing. But we know that we'll get there.
There's this joke that a lot of people don't know that they need MCSN or CMOs until they are no longer big.
Yes.
Is that joke correct?
It's even not joke. It is the actual fact. It's the actual fact. Because when the time comes and people are talking that, oh, I got paid by this organization last year, I got this much, I got that much, and you are not there, you realize that you really need the CMOs. Like I explained before, you can't do the job after the performance fee you collect before you go on stage. Maybe the next 2-3 months you do not get any contract or any engagements. How do you eat within that period? But this is an organization that can fill the gap for you. What you have performed before, where your performances and your works are being played, somebody is busy harnessing the money, collecting the money, and keeping them for you. Definitely, you need them. At a point when somebody mentioned to you that, I just got a check from this organization. The next thing is, how come that I don't get? Because when they say, I got a check from MCSN, which is what is actually happening now, and people who are not yet in, they'll be asking, how come? Because I'm a member. What makes you a member is because I'm a musician, they are performing my music, they collect royalties for us. The next question is, why don't I collect? Maybe you are not a member. Go and find out. I've been having phone calls almost every day. People say, I heard that you distribute money. I've been playing music for so long. I have not received a cover. The next question is, have you registered with us? If you have, send your name. By the time they send the name, I send it to the relevant department. The relevant department comes back to me that, oh, the person is a member, but he or she has not finished the registration process, maybe by not supplying the bank details and so on. Then I pass on the information to the man. So better go and clear your way. So it is happening every day. So there is no time. I mean, that time will surely come in the life of a musician when they will realize that they really need a CMO in their trade, in their business. That is very certain.
Okay, now, maybe as you are winding down,
Yes.
I want to ask that, okay, how do you determine what each person gets?
Yes.
Is it a flat rate, or you say your work has been used more, so you are going to get more?
Yes.
Or, because people have asked that question.
Yes.
People have said that, how do you determine how much someone gets?
It's a valid question. It's a very valid question. Because musicians are not on the same rate. The popularity of their music are not on the same level. So certainly, the person whose music is much more consumed will get more. And that is why we have a requirement that we give to people we collect money from. They will normally report their usage of music to us. And from that usage, we will know whose music was used 10 times, whose music was used 2 times, whose music was used 1 time. And based on that, we will share that money along that line. It is not even to be done just by the name. It is to be done by the work. You may be a musician who have different who has different titles, that is different works. It may be only one of your works that is being played, while the others are not even played at all. It is those works that we will hone in on. And at times, there are popular works that the credits in terms of copyrights, of composition and authorship may not belong even to the performer, that is the musician. So we'll sort out this is to make sure that the right money goes to the right people. So that's a radio station, for instance, are obligated to keep logs of their broadcasts to the seconds. To the seconds, because time also will determine, that is the length of usage will determine. For example, I can use your music 10 times, one music, for 2 times, and those 2 times may give me about 10 minutes. You see that it has beaten the one that they played for 1 second, 2 seconds. So all these factors will go in to determine what the other one gets. Of course, there is the angle of general distribution. Whether or not your work comes out in the logs, we know that being a work in the public, somehow, somewhere, it must have been used publicly, because not everybody is logging. For example, we will not expect somebody who is operating a beer parlor to log music. So with that, we have some allocation that once you are a member and you register and there is evidence that you have work, you get certain amount of money. So that is rated like everybody gets something. But again, the level of popularity will also come to play. So that is how it goes.
It must be very difficult to do this job, because as you are talking, I'm looking at you. Someone has composed a song, maybe, a song by KSA, a song by Ebenezer Obey, a song by even whoever.
Yes.
And somebody is playing it in the bar.
Yes.
Maybe some band too is
Yes.
playing. You know, all these bands that you see everywhere that do all this CBCB Sabbath, they do, and they will just go and pick somebody's song.
Yes.
Nobody tracks those ones. How do you don't track them?
We do.
If I'm a band now, I just have my keyboard and all of that, and I'm playing KSA song.
Yes.
Nobody knows I'm playing KSA song.
The liability is usually on the person with license. That is the owner of the premises. The person who is holding our license should be able, is required to give us back the log of music played.
By a band?
By the band.
Even if it is one...
Yes, abroad, there is normal thing. What they do normally is that if you are coming to play, there is a manager or somebody who is responsible for that. You coming to play, you have submitted ahead the list of the titles of works you want to play. So this is what forms what they return to us in distributing what money is collected at that place. So you can't just go on stage to perform in a concert without scheduled list of works you want to perform. They must be there in black and white in a particular form. And we are trying to enforce it here, but we are starting from broadcasters first, simply because there is a law requiring broadcasters to keep their logs. And we are requiring that this log must also be submitted along with their payments for the period covered by that payment. Because we are not collecting this money to be spent by us. We are collecting it to be distributed to the beneficiaries. And it is through that law we'll be able to know who gets what. So that is how it is run.